Welcome to the show, Respectfully the podcast. We got a staple in Omaha here. My man, he's a digital creator. He's worked with a lot of people in the city. He's a rare breed. He's in his own lane. He's a proud father. He worked at the Autism Center of Nebraska. He's from Omaha. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Smartest Dumb People podcast, Anthony that dude.
I
Welcome to the show, bro. What's good?
appreciate you, man. That was a great introduction, man. I appreciate that, brother.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, for sure, man. I want to give you your flowers first and foremost, man. You having a lot of motion with the podcast. I follow you. You had me on there like last year or 2 years ago. I appreciate that as always. But I still been watching you, man. I know you had took a step back for a while, but I see you having motion, man. You work with a lot of people, so salute to you, bro. Give you your
I
flowers.
appreciate it, man. 5 years in the making. So yeah.
Okay. That's
hmm
what's yeah, and I want to talk about that too eventually. We'll get into that. First, I want to know, man, what was it like for the people that don't know, what was it like growing up in Omaha for you?
Growing up in Omaha was rough, man. Like that's why I started the podcast is because I felt like we needed a village. We needed a voice.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Omaha got some of the strongest people. They really do. But I do feel like it's a crab in a barrel mentality. A lot of people in Omaha, they don't have no guidance and they too busy competing with each other. So what I did was I started a podcast to give other people platforms and people that needed a voice. So that's what the Smartest Dumb People started from, brother. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I love it here. But like I said, it was rough growing up in Omaha for sure. It ain't for the weak.
For sure. And I love that, man. And I appreciate you saying that because that's the same thing that I'm on. My platform is just simply to give Omaha a space where to highlight my people and to show the world because I'm in Atlanta. I like to show my people here, Omaha, how we get down, the talent there, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, salute to you, man. You've been doing your thing. Now, how did you come up with that name? But when I first heard it, and I know it brings controversy, right, which is good in media. So, a part of me understand, but I want to know what was your mindset like when you came up with that? Say, yeah, that's it, the Smartest Dumb People
Smartest dumb
podcast.
people, the smartest dumb people was created because me and my friends would sit on the phone and talk. Like me and Carl, shout out to Carl, he's on the show now. He didn't start on the show, but he's on the show now. We would just have
Shout
these
out to Carl.
conversations. Yeah, we used to have these deep conversations, and I'm like, man, this need to be televised. And to be honest with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
I can say this out loud. Me and Carl was supposed to start a podcast about 8 or 9 years ago before podcast was popular. We wanted to call it
Mm,
Barbershop. Things just never fell in place. And then the pandemic hit and I had nothing but time on my hands. So then I started the podcast. But shout out to Barr.
yes, sir. Shout out to Bro T. But why Smartest Dumb People? Expound on that for those
Um,
that don't
because
understand where that title come from.
because a lot of us are smart, but we dumb at the same time. And what I mean is like growing up in a impoverished community, growing up in the hood, we have a lot of intelligent people, a lot of smart dudes, but
Yeah.
we don't know nothing but what we're taught because we're a product of our
Right.
environment. So for me, that's why I started the Smartest Dumb People. And that's what I liked about the name is I got a lot of people that's smart, but a lot of people that's dumb. It's a mixture, and I can
Yeah.
speak for myself. I'm very dumb, but I'm very smart. So that's why I started the Smartest Dumb People.
Yeah. Did you catch a lot of backlash when you first started it? I
No,
know it's a controversial name.
No, I think it's a funny name and
Yeah.
people gravitate to it because like I said, it's more of a humble title, if you ask me, because we smart and dumb at the same time. We really are. A lot of us
Yeah.
are. Like I can even speak for you, like coming from Omaha, when I first knew about you, I didn't know you to be as sharp as you are, but I knew you was a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But you're really intelligent. And I've been peeping,
I
and
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what the Smartest Dumb People is to me. It's just black man growing up in the community, impoverished community, and a lot of us are smart, but we don't have any channels or anything like that to really like channel it.
That's 100. And it's catchy. It's a great job, man. Again, I've seen you had a lot of people, and so a lot of people messing with you, rocking with the podcast. Keep doing your thing, man, in the city. I want to talk about you worked at Autism Center in Nebraska. How did you get into that, and what's that like?
I worked in the field. I don't anymore. I took a break from it. I was working with people that have autism, intellectually disabled people.
Yeah.
I love the field, man, because I feel like a lot of these people that are intellectually disabled, to be honest with you, they relate to black people more than people know, because they are
Mm,
outcast in the communities. So For me,
Right, right.
I love working with people that have autism. I love working with people that have disabilities because they need help, and I just consider myself
Yeah.
one of God's foot soldiers, to be honest with you.
Did you go to school, have to get any licenses for that or?
No, but you got regular certificates like CPR, Med Aid,
Right.
things like that. But no, you didn't have to go to school for it. I've been in the field for 18 years, man. I literally just stepped aside because
Wow.
my last situation was very like hard, and it's hard to explain, but she was a lot to deal with. So I'm taking a
Yeah.
break from the field just to find something else, just for a little bit, because I do want to get back in the field because I've been doing it for
Yeah.
18 years. But I'm happy where I'm at right now.
And I'm actually looking to getting into that myself, man, helping not just IDD kids, but either younger men that have behavioral issues in
Hmm.
and out of systems, things like that. I'm passionate about that. Growing up in Omaha, I was in a lot of those places myself, Kearney, Wahoo, Youth Center, Geneva. I've been to all of them. So I'm real passionate about helping boys and want to transition into the intellectual developmental disability thing as well. My cousins, them do it out in Des Moines, has her own agency. So shout out to Prel and Nikki. And I hear a lot of people in Omaha has tapped into that as well. So it's pretty lucrative, like people doing the host home provider in Omaha.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, individuals, especially people that have intellectual disabilities, it's
Mhm.
becoming more prevalent because they're getting more rights, and they've always had rights, but they're changing a lot of laws, uh, and
Yeah,
and they deserve just the same life we deserve. They deserve to date. They deserve to fall in love. They deserve to go to Walmart. So
yeah.
they're creating more spaces for them able to do that, for them to be able to do that.
Now, did you have a family member or something? How did you get into this? Was it just something you always wanted to do? You doing God's work? What really unctioned you
That
to
that
jump out there?
that that's a deep question, man, and we grew up with a lot of cousins that was intellectually disabled. We just didn't realize it because we don't get
Wow.
diagnosed or anything like that. Yeah, I definitely had
Right.
some cousins that was autistic, some cousins that had intellectual disabilities. I didn't realize it at the time, but they was my family.
Right.
So for
Yeah.
me, I grew up with a lot of family members that was intellectually disabled, but I didn't know them nothing besides being my family member, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And that's
Mhm,
interesting you say that because the more I dive into it and study, I
mhm,
say, dang, so and so probably not being funny, but family members, certain people that's probably an intellectual disability there. And I would just say, shout out to our black community, all people. I'm not a race type of guy, right?
mhm.
So yeah, it's important that if you do identify these things to go and get the help that you need, not to feel embarrassed. It's not just about getting a check, it's about getting that help so you can function in regular society, just as a normal individual
Yeah.
will. So
Mhm,
y'all get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about, people with intellectual disability and the fact that more people are stepping up and taking care and treating, the IDD community as normal people. I love it, man. I'm all about serving, and I see you're a servant as well, man. I love that about you. I
mhm.
saw a post about you. You said you was living in a false reality for a while. What did you mean by that? And where you at currently?
So like I said, I was a product of my environment, man, and I say this all the time as being a black man, because like I said, I can only
Yeah.
speak about being a black man first because that's what I am that's what society sees me as. So
Yeah.
for me, we have to unlearn a lot of things, man. And like I was telling somebody on my show last night, we was talking about do all men cheat. I'm giving you an example. We was talking about do all men cheat, and I was like, it was a mentality, and it was something that I was taught. We being a young black man, it was about how many women you could have, how many cars you could have, like everything
Right.
that I thought was cool back then, I think is foolish now. So that's what I mean by
Right.
living in a false reality. And I had to
Right.
unlearn a lot of things. I had to learn how to be faithful to my woman. I had to learn how to
Yeah.
not be so angry at my people, because like,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is like seeing somebody and being like, he from another hood or he from another section, like all of that is ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the older I got, the more I wanted to stand out. The older I got, I wanted to stand out and be nothing like the
Be
community
different.
raised me to be, if that makes sense.
Mm. 100%, man. I love it, man. Shout out to my boy Dariel starting his podcast called Cut the Cap. And he said, a lot of us capping out here,
Mhm,
like you say, you get older and you look at all the things we was doing, like, dang, that was ignorant, but we was a product of our environment, just growing up trying to survive,
mhm,
really. So when you're in that survival mode, you doing all that you know. And what really helped me is getting out of Omaha. I ain't gonna lie. Moving here into Atlanta, I was angry in Omaha, you know. So a lot of people see me, they bring up them old stories, and I'd be like, yeah, dang, we did that. Some of the stuff I remember, but some I don't, because we was just in the environment, really just surviving, you know.
Yep,
And
yep,
once you get in them gangs, it's you or me. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? And so, yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the city, man. That mindset has evolved, and I pray and hope that and encourage my people our age, and even on the younger men to it's all about mindset, man, and don't become a product of your environment, just because all that's going on. But I get it, Omaha, the smoke can be so thick that you gotta move a certain way. You come home and everybody say, I'm just staying out the way, because it's dangerous. I get it. Everybody know each other, and people getting shot and killed. So I just salute to the people that's on that positive note, man, and not just staying out the way, really because it's really not about staying out the way. It's about doing like a person like you, using your platform, giving back, getting in the way, and
mhm,
being a trailblazer. You know what I'm
yep, yep,
saying? So
mhm.
shout out to you, bro.
Well, I appreciate that, and also, I just want to say some people can be dealt a bad hand. This is a fact,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is, uh, being being a product of your environment sounds so bad. It sounds like you got options, you got choices, but being a product of your environment, it's so, like you said, it's thick. And what I mean by that
Yeah.
is, if we grew up in Israel, we'll probably be a Muslim. If we
Yeah.
grew up in Germany, whatever their gang is. It's being a product of your environment is literally situational. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can't even control being a product of your environment, if that makes sense. If you poor
Yeah.
and you ain't got no money, and you see people over there selling drugs and they teach you how to sell drugs, you might do it because you want to put some money in your pocket. Product of your
Hmm.
environment is serious, man. And it takes a
It
long
is.
time to really heal from that shit. Excuse my
It
French. That
does.
stuff.
Uh, But I will say this though, to your point, you're 100% right. But at the end of the day, it's still a choice.
Mhm.
Because like you say, I was a straight A student. I was very smart, and my life, my home front wasn't the best in a single parent household, not getting what you want, going outside in the streets on your way to school. But I will say I still knew right from wrong, and I knew it was a choice when I joined that gang.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, but to your point, the pressures just be so heavy that you're like, you know what, I'm about to just get in. And just by the grace of God, some of us make it and we here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't make it. And that's why I'm grateful every day, and I'm always trying to encourage, especially my brothers and my men, because I know we the men, as the men, we really the head, we're the head, not the tail. We the leaders of the household. These are God's words. And so yeah, it can be tough, man, making it out. And I'm just grateful every day I wake up, fam.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you this. What comes to your mind when you hear the phrase you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable? What does that mean to you?
Uh, what's funny is me and my cousin was having this conversation about uh I'm about to break it down to you. So for example, and when I was talking about being a product of your environment, I was a project
Yeah.
baby. I was a Section 8 kid, all that stuff. And eventually, when I was 20 years old, I was on Section 8. I was living with my girlfriend at the time. She wanted to get married. And I was like, no, we can't get married. We're gonna get kicked off Section 8. We get our rent paid for free.
Wow.
All of these things.
Wow.
So She
Yeah.
she she driv she put a battery in my back. We wind up getting married, getting off Section 8, paying the highest rent I've ever paid, but it changed my mentality. So for
Mm,
me, that's what it is for me. That like it's you have to be able to be uncomfortable to get change. You know what I'm saying? And when it was the best decision I ever made. Like getting off Section 8 at 20 years old, I'm 45 now. That was 25 years ago. It's
yeah.
independence. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
relying on the government is crazy, but so many people do it
Yeah.
because they're comfortable. You have to
Yep.
get uncomfortable. Like I said, my kid's mom, shout out to my kid's mom. I was with her for 20 years. We was married, and she taught me that being complacent will leave us nowhere. So
Man.
on to her for that. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for sharing that, because I have a lot of conversations with individuals about the Section 8, the bondage, seeing
Mhm.
our majority of women, right? But for you to even be a man to share that testimony, that was big, that was humbling of you. So thanks for doing that, because
Mhm.
again, it is a trap, and if people never get uncomfortable and get out, you'll be in that trap, in that rat race for years. And
Yep.
like you say, to your point, some women never get married. So really they married to the state because they, and we supposed to, you supposed to humble yourself, allow a man to come in and y'all help one another. But that the state is provides so much assistance that it really, and we think it's helping, but it's really keeping our people in bondage.
Yeah, it's handicapping us, and it's definitely putting
Yep.
people in situations to where, like you said, they get comfortable. But I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the government is a trick. Now, I will say this also: things happen, people lose their job. You might need to get food stamps. I'm not saying state assistance cannot be a push. I'm saying that you should never use the state to be a main provider or rely on the state to make sure that you and your kids is okay. That's not okay. You got to make sure you and your kids is okay. Now, if things don't fall in line, yes, that's what government assistance is for. It's supposed to be for a push. It's
Right.
supposed to be to live off of.
Right, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Well said, well said. Man, who's one of your I know Borrow T is your man. Outside of Borrow T, who's one of your biggest influencers in Omaha and why?
I have to say my father, man. My father is one of my biggest influences. He's been at his job for almost 40 years. My dad is about to retire. And
Wow.
he's an amazing human being. My dad, he's from the projects too. He was never a gang member. He was never in the streets. He was never thugging.
Yeah.
But my dad taught me how
Mm,
to be a man. I will say that. So shout out to my pops. Yes,
mm.
my dad
Shout
inspires me
out to
every
Pop.
day just from being a hardworking man. He encourages me to work as hard as him. But it's gonna be hard to.
Yeah.
But I try.
Man, I love that, bro. That's what's up. I didn't see that coming. And that's good. I want my, and as men, I didn't grow up with my dad. I was fatherless, right? My dad was good though. He was in Little Rock and he always did what he could from afar. So shout out to my pops too. You know what I'm saying? Because he
Man,
he still made the call. Hmm?
I I gotta say something about your mom. Your mom is a beautiful soul, bro. I could see
Yeah,
she raised
appreciate
them
that.
kids. Like his
Yeah.
mom. Shout out to his mom. When I was working at the UPS store, his mom, just random, just this beautiful black lady walked in, older, was super sweet. She wound up bringing me a plate for like a plate of some greens and like
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
yeah, and she just said, "I wanted to do something special for you because you're a nice young
Oh
man." And
yeah.
ever since then, like, your mom got a place in my heart, man, because we need people
That's
like
what's
that,
up.
And especially in
Yeah.
our culture, we need our people to be like that towards each other. And your mom's I had
Fact.
a beautiful moment with your mom, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Appreciate that. Shout out to mom, man. And that's that God in her, man, doing those nice, kind gestures. That's
Mm,
genuinely who she is. So I'm glad you got to experience that.
yes, sir.
But back what I was saying about the fathers, growing up without the dad, for you to say that about your dad, which you would think that's kind of what every male should say, but us that grew up without our fathers, we can't say that, but that's what I want my son, my son's 15, my baby boy. And I want him to be able to say that someday. And I believe he will as he gets older. They're young and they watching rappers and all this type of stuff. But to
Mm,
hear you say that, like your dad working 40 years, hardworking man, it ain't about the glitter, the glamour. It's about somebody showing you how to be real, day in and day out, principles, morals, values. So viewers, all the young folks listening, man, make sure y'all respecting your parents. I talk a lot about the privileged kids who don't, and I get it. Some of the kids sometimes they feel like they don't know how to show appreciation, right? Because they so used to not that they're spoiled, but they're well taken care of. They in AAU basketball. They don't have to walk to school. None of the stuff the inner city kids go through. So
yeah,
again, I'm always trying to give back to the kids, saying make sure y'all showing appreciation to your parents, because it's a lot of kids that don't have that type of sponsorship and people behind them, man. So thanks for
that's
sharing that, fam. Yep. So I
yes,
see you
sir.
be doing the local few reviews too. Any reviews on any Omaha reviews? First, you been to OTB off the bone. Shout out to Dirk, man, doing his
Shout out to
thing.
Dirk. I haven't been to
Yeah.
Dirk's restaurant, but I've been saving it because he got a special place with me too. He's my
Oh,
Dirk used to be my barber. So
oh,
when
yeah,
I
okay, okay.
yeah, when I do a full review there, I want it to be special and I want it to be with people that I
Yeah.
want to do it with. I haven't had a chance
Okay.
to, but I'm definitely gonna try it soon for sure.
Okay. So what latest review can you give us on any new Omaha restaurants or
I recently did Get It and Go Fish.
okay.
Yeah, shout out to Flow Easy, man. That dude is cool as
Flow
hell.
Easy,
Uh,
yeah.
that place, it's the community I grew up in. It's the building that I used to walk in as a kid to get candy,
It's
and
still down on 24th?
yep, and now it's literally a fish spot. But I'm telling you, man, they got some of the best catfish. I'm a catfish guy. Best catfish, best
Yeah.
spaghetti. You know, I love getting it go. So that's our latest review we just did.
Shout out to Flow Easy Get and Go, man. Man, you still going. When I
Okay.
left Omaha, what, 2004, I used to go to get that fish. So to see him still pushing, man, that's big in the city, man. I love it, man. Flow Easy used to do his thing, rapping and all that too in the streets.
Mm.
Yep. Shout out to Flow Easy, man. How has respect gained served you well and working with other people? How has respect played a big factor in your life?
I learned early, man. I treat the janitor just like I treat the CEO. Um, and
Mhm.
respect to me is everything. And I say this all the time. It costs nothing to be kind, but to me,
Right.
kind and respect is in the same category. If you
Yep.
respect the person, you will get far in life for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I never asked none of the guests on the show this. I know you from Omaha, and again, you don't have to expound on any names. Have you ever experienced like betrayal to a point of no return?
Uh, yeah. I mean,
To
when
where
I was in
some
the we can if you want me to get deep, I can get deep. Betrayal is everywhere. But
Yeah.
when I was years ago, probably what 15 years ago, when I was in the street hustling, moving around, I was robbed by a good friend of mine. And it just
Mm.
it messed me up, man. And that, to be honest with you, that was the
Yeah.
last time I sold a drug. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
because
yeah. See?
I
It
could have
really
been.
did you a solid, did you a favor in the low key.
I at one point in time, I was so mad, I was so angry for at least 12, 13 years, man. This happened 15 years ago.
Mm.
And recently
Yeah.
I started, like, when I like start talking to people and seeing all these people that's dead or in jail, I could have died. I could have been in jail.
Right,
So
right.
in some way, what happened to me saved my life, because I
Yep.
stopped hustling, I got out the streets, I started focusing on my family, I started doing everything the right way. But I experienced betrayal like no other. But
Right.
at the end of the day, man, I'm humbled to, like you said, to still be alive and kicking. There's a lot of people dead or in
For real.
jail that was in the same
Yeah.
situation with boats that I was in. I made it out.
Right.
I want to humbly live my life, take care of my
Mhm.
kids, and watch my grandkids and grow old.
For real, man. That part.
You so professional, dude. Like, you so professional. And man, I respect it, dog. I really do. Coming from the streets, man, you got a real
Yeah.
professional manner about yourself, and I respect it a lot, man. That's why I made sure I was on
Appreciate that.
time, because
Yeah.
you showed me respect when you came to my show. You was on time. Everything was perfect. So I wanted to do the same thing for you, brother, and I couldn't wait to be on your show.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, and I just gotta thank God in Atlanta, and I worked in corporate for like 11 years too. So that really helped me, took me to a next level. And so I'm thankful it was like college for me. I wouldn't take nothing back how I grew up in Omaha though, because it prepared me for the world and for life. But
Yeah.
Atlanta, I came here at 23 and just turned 24. So really I grew up as a young man here, and learning professionalism, taking care of people. The morals and values that I learned in corporate, is what I practice now. And I'm a time management junkie and I'm
Yeah.
real task driven, skill. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? As men, and learning to do administrative things, because a lot of our men, we put a lot of that on women, especially back home. It's guys that we know from the streets like us. And I'm real passionate about this. And I'm gonna say this while we here, since we talking about it. Anybody that's humble enough and coming home from prison or need help with like create resume tips or interviewing, get at me, man. I won't even charge you. Like if I know you and we got a relationship, we all from them streets. This is things I'm passionate about, helping people and empowering our men, because a lot of times we rely on women to do all that. And what happens is some of them women keep that over your head. And like we were saying, that
Mhm.
ignorance and no shout out to the women that don't, right? But we know we grew up in an ignorant society where
Mhm.
some women hold that against men because they know they're incompetent. And so I'm all about trying to empower men and help them to learn these things. So anybody that need assistance with getting your resume together, interviewing, career development, getting to that next level, I studied it and practiced it for 10 years, fam. And I'm seasoned, and I got curriculums, I got PowerPoints so I can walk you through it, spend some time with you. I'm willing to do that on a strength. I'm a busy guy and got a schedule, but we can schedule it out an hour block or something and make that happen, man. But I appreciate you saying that, fam. I'm passionate about the city. I love Omaha, man, and that's why I do this. just for the city and to get back. I see you got like over 1,000 some subscribers. I can't even monetize yet. I shout out to my 96 subscribers.
Oh man, we're gonna get you up there. We're gonna share this.
Yeah,
We're gonna get you up there. We're gonna put this on the smartest dumb people.
yeah,
I'll play a little clip of your show on the smartest dumb people next week. Yeah, man,
yes,
I
appreciate it.
genuinely appreciate black men changing their lives. Like I said, you got a beautiful
Yeah,
wife, beautiful family. I see you
thank
taking
you,
care of
sir.
responsibilities. Man, I
Yes, sir.
love watching my brothers grow.
Yes, sir. Me too, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on and keep up the good work, man. Blessing the city. I'm always support you, man. Anything I could do, reach out, fam. And thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate you too, King. You have a good day.
My dude. Bye.